You are getting ready to listen to the voice of Dr. Rhadi Ferguson, 2004 Olympian, four-time national judo champion, Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt, author, speaker, and coach.
What's going on, good people? I'm going to allow some people to come in here first. This is Dr. Rhadi Ferguson, 2004 Olympian, four-time national judo champion and Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt, author, speaker, and coach. Many of you know that I'm a martial arts instructor. In 2018, I had an opportunity to take the bullying prevention course. It was an online course given by the Center for Disease Control. And I want to talk with you all about something that I talked to some of my parents and students about a couple days ago inside of my dojo. And I do believe that bullying is an issue. I do believe that bullying is a problem. And I have to deal with, let me put some light on over here. I have to deal with bullying prevention all the time. And I have a different approach at times to bullying than other people do, because I usually base things off of the SR model in psychology, which is the stimulus response model. There's a certain stimulus that is provided that then provides a certain response. Here's what I want to talk to you all about. I gave the example to my class. I said, if there was a roach on the floor, I said, would you all go over there and step on the roach? I said, yes, no problem. Go over there and step on the roach. I said, right. I said, why? I said, because I can, they say, I can crush the roach. I can kill the roach. I'm bigger than the roach. I said, okay, good. I said, now, if there was a tarantula on the floor, I said, would you go over there and would you step on it? And they was like, no. I said, why not? They said, because the tarantula might jump on me and bite me. I said, but the tarantula is smaller than you are too. They said, yes. I said, correct. I said, but the difference between the tarantula and the roach is in their presentation. I said, your presentation sometimes causes people to bully you. And I don't mean that in such a fashion that the presentation of how you look. I mean that what you come with and how you walk. The tarantula has what? And I said, what does the tarantula have? They said, tarantula has poison in it. I said, right. Tarantula has poison. What we put inside of you is not poison. What we put inside of you is confidence. So your ability to present yourself is based upon your confidence. I said, when you're confident, you don't walk into the room as a roach. You walk into the room as a tarantula. And no matter how small you are, your presentation is such that the people who are around you know that you aren't to be messed with. And they know that no matter what happens, that the faith that you have with you on the inside, you are willing to jump on them if you had to, not because you want to. As martial arts instructors, we're trying to change the presentation of our practitioners by giving them more confidence, more self-confidence, more self-awareness. I tell my parents all the time, I said, listen, if you coming to me because your child was bullied, I say, where is your responsibility within the relationship? Well, my child was the victim. I said, I got it. I said, and society doesn't want to deal with the responsibility of the victim. I said, however, you are in the martial arts because you believe that you have some responsibility as the victim. I'm not talking about fair. I'm talking about what's correct. And I'm talking about the reality of the situation. The reality of the situation is people don't want to be victims. So what do we do so that we don't become victims? How can we strengthen our resolve, strengthen our presentation so that we don't become victims? What type of things can we do? First and foremost, we have to look in the animal kingdom. And I talked to them about this. I said, people want to reduce the importance. I hear a lot of internet coaching gurus want to reduce the importance of looking people in the eye. And it's okay because kids are on their devices and they don't look people in the eye. But those things might be good in the business space where you don't have to communicate with people and you can text. But in the real world, when you have to meet people and go face to face and talk, you have to be able to lock eyes with people. Why is that? In the animal kingdom, there are two types of animals. There's predator and there's prey. Prey have their eyes on the side so they can always look around, defend themselves, and leave. Just think about it. Predators have their eyes in the front. Why? Because predators really don't care about what's going on the outside. They lock in on their target and then they go. When you begin to look in another person's face, especially when two men are locked in engagement, and you start darting your eyes and looking down, you turn yourself psychologically on an animalistic level into prey. When you turn yourself into prey, you immediately have changed your presentation. Your ability to be confident in what it is that you have, the poison that you bring to the table, and the subject matter that's going on allows you to look someone dead in the eyes without moving. If you cannot do this, and you have a problem with this, and you start darting your eyes, that, my friend, is an issue for you because you're going to present yourself as prey to a predator. You have even seen it such that one person will start darting their eyes and give their power over to the other person and turn themselves into prey and turn the other person into a predator. You've seen this in sports. You've seen it in martial arts. You've seen it in wrestling when one kid starts crying, the other kid's looking across the line. He's about ready to cry too, or she's about ready to cry too. But when the other kid starts crying and starts looking down, they give all their power over to the other person and the other kid just starts pouncing. What you don't understand about people about humans and about the animal kingdom is giant cats like lions and tigers. They run when you run. If you start running towards them, they stop. When you show the fear because you don't have any confidence in your abilities, you turn yourself into prey. A gazelle is no match for a cheetah. A gazelle has to run. Another cheetah doesn't have to run from another cheetah because they have the same skill set. When you walk into the situation with more skills and more confidence in the other person, you have no reason to run. And you will change the dynamic of the situation. Here's the other thing. People do not want to have conversations about male and female. They don't want to have conversations about inputs and ports, okay? These you can't, hold on please. This goes into this. In electronics and engineering, this side would be the male side and this side would be the female side. And it's like that. You can have whatever discussion you want about gender and sex and sexuality and labeling and categorization. You can have whatever you want. The bottom line is this. In a dynamic, in a situation where there are two groups, there's going to be one group that is going to cover the other group or vice versa, or they're going to bang heads until they figure it out. That's just what it is. Even when I'm talking about homosexual, I'm talking about homosexual not in sexual relationships, but in that if I had two of these and I kept butting them together, one of them is going to dull down and get flat and then begin to cover the other one. Why is that? Because that's just the natural order of things. Now, I am going to talk about homosexual relationships now. Even in the homosexual relationships, inside of those dynamics, there is a male and a female dynamic. I'm not talking about gender. I'm just talking about how things fit. Okay. One is dominant over the other. I'm not saying that the male is dominant over the female. I'm saying one covers the other. That's it. When you're in a situation, when you're in some type of dynamic, there will be an A and a B. There will be an alpha and a beta. There will be a male and a female. There will be a predator and there will be a prey. There will be that is how it is. That is what it is. There will be a bottom and then there will be a top. And you will have to find out who and what you are in those particular situations. And inside of the martial arts space, we train you such that you can come out of an altercation without having to damage yourself, without having to damage the other person, by understanding that you need to present yourself in such a fashion that you can come out on top based upon your confidence and based upon what you bring to the table. Does that mean you won't ever get cyberbullied? No, it doesn't mean that. And cyberbullying is very unfortunate when people do it, because it's hard to catch the people, but it has to be the toughest form of bullying to stop and the weakest form of bullying to implement. The weakest form. I do feel bad when parents come to me and they tell me that their kids are being cyberbullied. However, when they come to me and they tell me that their kids are being cyberbullied, I tell them this. I say, how old is your child? 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I said, where are they being bullied? Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook. I said, why is your child on there? My child's on there to socialize. Your child does not have the socialization skills to not be bullied in that place. Your child doesn't have the socialization skills to not understand that that's not real world. I say, so you need to remove those particular things from your child. What if there's an emergency? My child needs to call me. If there's an emergency, your child needs to call 911. What if there's an emergency at school? Then do the same thing that was an emergency when we went to school. Somebody go to the principal's office and call 911. I say, if your child is having an emergency, your child calling you is not going to help them at all. They need to call 911. You are putting tools in your child's hands to turn them into prey because you have not taught them the skills of the predators in that place. See, as martial artists, we teach predatory skills. And then we train people to be human beings, not animals, so that they don't become predators. You're not supposed to learn boxing and then go out and start fighting everybody that you see. You're supposed to learn boxing, and through the understanding of boxing, through the understanding of the art of not getting hit, not hitting somebody, of not getting hit. You're supposed to understand through the humility that's presented from the process of sparring that more damage occurs from fighting than not fighting. And if I can talk through these situations and not fight through a quality presentation, through my presentation physically and verbally, then I can walk away and the other person can walk away and nobody can get hurt. This is what we teach. That's what we teach. But we do not teach you how to be the beta in a situation when being the alpha is available. Being the alpha does not mean you always fight. Because let me tell you something. If you're locked in a room, in a small room, in a bedroom with a tarantula, and the sun goes down in the evening and you can't find out where that tarantula is, I guarantee you at night that tarantula is not worried about you. You're worried about it. And you are the apex predator in the room. But the reason why you're worried is because you don't have the skills that the tarantula has. And until you develop those skills, like somebody who is skilled in that area about dealing with arachnoids and dealing with spiders and dealing with those type of animals and dealing with snakes, until you have those skills, you are going to be scared. The tarantula will have turned you into a beta human being inside of that room because you do not have the skills. One of the most important things you can do is sign your kids up for sports, sign your kids up for martial arts, and move out the way and allow your kids to suffer. The other thing, teach your children how to become predators and not prey in this particular environment, in the world that we live in today. Teach your children how to look people in the eyes when they're talking and put those devices down. Teach your children how to wait at the bus stop and look around and count the cars and understand. I was driving by the bus stop when I was coming home the other day from the gym. Every kid by the bus stop had their head down. They couldn't even see what was going on. There's no situational awareness. There's no positional awareness. They have turned themselves, they are looking down, they have turned themselves into prey. Even the Bible speaks about presenting yourself. You present yourself as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable, which is your reasonable service. You present yourself holy, you present yourself acceptable, and that's reasonable. Why? Because, man, you look at somebody who's slothful, you look at somebody who's out of shape, you look at somebody who can't walk and breathe, you look at those people immediately inside of a group in society, those people turn themselves into, you become prey. Now, we are human beings, which means we protect the young, we protect the elderly. Animals don't do that. Animals protect the young, and animals kill the elderly, or they remove them. We're human beings, which means you don't get an upper advantage over somebody and you crush them because you can. You get an upper advantage over somebody and you respect that you have the upper advantage, and then the other person respects that you have it too. And this is where some people go wrong. This is a different conversation. This is the texting, the typing, and the running your mouth type thing, because people don't have to pay for the errors that they make with their verbiage. Which is why I like the martial arts environment, because I tell the kids that come into my place, this is not K through 12. You run your mouth to somebody else, I'm going to tell everybody to get on the wall, and I'm going to let y'all fight it out. And I'm not going to stop it until one of you quits. I said, because you need to learn how to shut your mouth. But he beat me because he's heavier. I said, you need to find some different skills than besides arguing with somebody. I said, you need to become a little more cunning. You need to work on your conversational skills. If you can't be that person, you need to find another way to get your agenda passed. But you can't jump up in somebody's face and talking trash, knowing good and well that you can't win. Find another way. Lawyer up. You got to do something else. And I tell this to the boys and the girls, to the men and the women. I tell the girls, don't jump in that boy's face talking trash, because I'm going to put everybody on the wall and I'm going to let you guys fix it. Because you need to understand the dynamics of a situation. There's an alpha and a beta. There's a covering and a thing that has to be covered. That's just how it goes. When you go to competition, both teams start out the same until they just, and then we figure out who covered who. One becomes number one and the other one becomes number two. This is how it works. The best bullying prevention advice that I can give you, I've already given you. Also, sign your kids up for martial arts. Do it. Start teaching your children the skills of confidence and positive presentation. And understand that confidence means with faith. You could believe what you want to believe. You could Buddhist, Christian, you could be Muslim, you could whatever you want to believe. Wait a minute. I'm a Jesus man myself. You dig? But confidence means confidel, means with faith. If you don't have any faith, then you're walking into the situation with nothing anyway. You're empty. You're empty. This does not mean anything until two lions meet. And when two lions meet and they roar, and one finds out the other one doesn't have any teeth, then that lion is in trouble. And that's what happens. There's a level of presentation and there's a level of reality. You need to have quality presentation, but then you need to have some confidence and you need to walk with the faith. And if you don't have any faith, you don't have any teeth in your bite. This is Dr. Ferguson. Take care and have a super fantastic day. Remember, I love you. God loves you best.